All right, y'all boys, we back with another video. So today we are going to be doing a showcase. Now this showcase is going to be a previous character that we've already done a showcase before here on the channel, except it's going to be quite a bit different compared to the previous ones, right? So basically we have the newest SP batch of characters with SP buffs that have been added recently. So we're going to be redoing a showcase of Red Nobara, who already kind of had was already kind of pretty decent, I'd say. And now she probably received one of the best SP buffs in the game, right? Now, obviously, this is going to be opinionated, but I really think so, right? So if you don't know what an SP buff is, basically, the easiest way to compare it to is if you are familiar with Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, where they have a system called EZA, which is Extreme Z Awakening. And what it does is it kind of buffs older units with upgraded skills and passives. So in Red Nobara's case, her skill 3 and her passive have gotten absolutely nutty insane buff, bro, like no cap. All right, so we're here in Nobara's potential system, just so you can kind of get like a visual representation of what's going on here. But her skill 3, which is essentially her like main damage skill in her kit, what's different now is basically her main damaging skill in her kit now costs less curse energy, so you don't have to use as much curse energy as you had previously. Like kind of like Suguna, the cost increases the more nails the enemy has. So you can overall increase the overall damage output by just having more nails, right? And then she also got a bunch of utility with her skill 3, such as like, you know, ultimate recharge rate increase and increased Jujutsu damage received debuff for red types, which obviously that propels her even further because it's like she's already a damage dealer who does pretty decent. Now she has higher modifiers. Now she can charge her ult quicker. Not that we care about her ult that much, but it's a good, nice bonus to have. And then on top of that, you also get an increased Jujutsu damage received debuff to red type for like red types. Like that shit is crazy. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just insane. It's like you're a debuffer while you're also a damage dealer. It's insane. And now this skill basically has the potential to nuke with a multiplier of almost 4,000%. That is absolutely absurd. I don't think there's anybody in the game that reaches up to that percentage. That's how you know that shit is fucking insanity. I don't even know. They were like, yeah, we're making Nobara the best. And that's exactly what they did. In my opinion, they made her the best SP buffed character. So now her other SP buff is her passive and her auto skill, right? So these are absolutely crazy as well. So when you perform a Black Flash, you get a 45% Jujutsu damage increase and a 25% damage dealt increase for 8 turns each. What the fuck? And as you know, her ultimate skill guarantees a Black Flash, right? So you're gonna guaranteed to get that. So she needs 7 turns to get the max stacks of nails, which means she'll have the buff perfectly timed on the max stack nuke. Like, bro, they made her so fucking good. I literally can't believe how good her SP buff is. And if they continue to keep going down on this route, I swear to God, in the future, all these old characters that people are just hating on and shitting on, if they keep doing these SP buffs to them, I don't know what to tell you, because these SP buffs, they kind of cooking. If they manage to keep maintaining with these kind of characters and making them more like viable in today's standards. So Nobara, props to her. She's phenomenal, no cap. Now let's actually go into the team so that way we can kind of showcase the character. All right, so we're here on our teams, right? Now, I'm just gonna say this straight out, like straight out from the beginning. I got this team from a Japanese YouTuber. His name is Yori. And he basically kind of pioneered the Rare Yuki kind of taunt into domain expansion Gojo strategy in Curse Sweep. So big shout out to obviously the GOAT, the real GOAT of Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade. Like this guy, he puts out a lot of content. He does a lot of testing. He does a lot, right? He's a Japanese YouTuber. So if you aren't familiar with him, his name is Yori. I'll probably put a description, not a description, but I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description, right? So that way you guys go check him out. So first off, we're going to have Yaga, Gaku, Ganji, Yuki, and Red Nobara, obviously. And then we're going to have Domain Expansion Gojo in the background. So just your usual gang, you're going to have Red Nobara, and then with your DPS, and then obviously your buffer, your debuffer, and then your curse energy regen with, of course, Gojo in the back, because he's going to be increasing the damage dealt to the enemy with his debuffs. Pride is probably going to be her best in slot memory. Like it's fairly obvious that you're going to be able to get the most amount of damage out of it. In terms of memories for the other characters, they should be fairly obvious why we have them. Survivability memories. We have what's it called? This also gives cursed energy at the start of the fight too, I believe, on the passive. The one that's on Gakuganji, I think it's like 10 more for like your entire team. Unity to charge our ults quicker. And then we have this one on the main extension Gojo. This is going to charge our ults rapidly. So that way we can get to our ult and then just fire off, Gojo's ult as soon as possible. I think what we're going to test her on is probably going to be potential boss, right? So it's going to be the SP boss or whatever you want to call it. All right, so we're here on the fight. So let's just get straight off the bat, just go right into it, start clapping and everything. Okay, so first up, we're going to use Unity in our skill 2 on Yaga, skill 3 with Gakuganji, skill 3, of course, with our Yuki. We're also going to be using the Recollection as well to kind of taunt the enemies. And then we're going to skill 1 on Nobara. Remember, with Nobara, how we're going to play with her is we're going to use skill 1 to get the 3 stacks of nails, and then skill 1 again to get the another 3 stacks of nails. Now, normally you would, of course, you would think, okay, let's go for 11 stacks of nails because that's the highest output you can get, but it's inefficient and you're better off just going for a 3 nails, another 3 nails, and then rotating into her skill 3. That will provide a average consistent medium amount of damage, rather than just having one big large amount of damage with 3 times the effort, right? So now we're on turn 2. We're going to use skill 2 here. Skill 3 with Gakuganji. Skill 3 with Yuki again, because obviously. And then skill 1 with Nobara. With this, we are going to, of course, put the 6 stack of nails on them. And, of course, we already got our cursed energy now to, of course, use our skill 3, which is what we want. Now, the reason we're not using Pride just yet is because, obviously, we're so early on in the fight that Pride isn't going to be necessary. And I feel like it's better to wait when you actually need it to do the most amount of damage in between the phases. So now we're going to use skill 3 here. Let's see how much damage we managed to do. So we don't have all our buffs yet. As you can see, 3.2 mil. So you can't even tell me that this character isn't even good now, because that's crazy. 3.2 mil on a skill 3 that only costs you 40 cursed energy. You fight me on that, bro, you're fucking dumb. Skill 2. Skill 3 with the Recollection. It's going to give me a little bit of survivability. Then we're going to use the ult from Yuki, and then skill 1 with Nobara, start reapplying the nails again. Okay, so Yuki's dead. That's exactly what we want. We don't care about Yuki anymore. So here we are on turn 5. So now we are going to use our skill 2, skill 3. It doesn't really matter what we use here, so we'll just use like maybe skill 2 with Gojo. His memory. Then Nobara will probably, let's see, I think here we can just use skill 1. We don't need to use Pride just yet. We're going to start reapplying these nails. So we're going to have our 6th stack of nails, I'm pretty sure. Which means next turn we'll be able to do damage again with our skill 3. Okay, so you attack Gojo dodge. That's exactly what we like to see. So now we're on turn 6. So turn 6, we're going to start cooking a little bit. Gonna skill 2 here, skill 3, Gojo skill 2 again, the debuffing, and then we're gonna skill 3 with Nobara, and we're gonna use Pride. Now keep in mind, we're only gonna end up using one of the activations from the buffs, and we'll be able to use it again when we rotate back into our skill 3 again. So she functions the best with Pride. Like literally, it has long enough duration where you're able to kind of cycle in between your skill 3 every time. So we're gonna skill 3 here. And we're gonna let's see how much damage how much damage we managed to do here. Okay, so we did 4.8 mil, 4.9 mil almost basically. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now we're here on turn 7, so we're gonna ult here. This is gonna lower the curse damage, and the enemy's physical damage that they do, and we're gonna use the Recollection as well alongside it, so we can start building up our ultimates. Then Gakuganji's gonna use his ult, so we could get that combo ult and get his ult out of the way as well. Then we're gonna use skill 2 with Gojo because we want to keep lowering the amount of damage that he does to our team to make sure our characters survive. And then with Nobara, since we don't really care too much about what's happening here, and hopefully we're trying to push for the next phase, we're just gonna ult instead of, stacking nails, because if we end up stacking nails, it's probably gonna take a little bit longer. Okay, so now they'll have less curse and physical damage, which means we'll also take less damage. And we'll have Gojo debuffing him too. Now we'll see how much damage she does with her ult. It's gonna activate Pride as well. 2.4 mil. It's whatever. You know, like I mentioned, her skill 3 is her main like damage output. Like that's literally her main damage output. So, I mean, it is what it is. So here we're gonna use our skill 2. Now we're gonna skill 1 with Gaku Ganji this time to reduce damage because he's just gonna get attacked. We don't really care too much. We gotta give some survivability. Then we'll use skill 3. This will probably do a little bit more damage, so hopefully we'll be able to kill the enemy. And then we'll use skill 3, of course, on our Nobara too. Obviously, he only has 1 nail proc on him, but I mean, it's better than nothing. Gotta get some damage out there. If we could break him, that would be good. Oh, we didn't break him. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So here we'll just keep buffing. We'll continue to keep buffing. We'll use skill 1 with Gaku Ganji. We'll do skill 3 with Gojo, so we can get him out of here. And then we'll start stacking nails with Nobara again. Alright, he should be broken here. Oh my god, he didn't get broken? That's crazy. He's gonna get broken here, though. He's gonna get breaking here. No way that he doesn't. I mean, I guess if I had skill 3 last turn, we probably could have killed it. We'll skill 3 here. Skill 3 again. And then we'll use our skill 3 here. And that should kill. I'm pretty sure that should kill with these. Alright, 2.3 mil. And that was only 3 nails, by the way. Alright, so here we are on turn 11. Now, this is where it's going to start getting a little bit crazy. So we're going to skill 2 here. We're going to skill 3 with Gaku Ganji. Then we're going to use Gojo ult. Now, obviously, we did lose some efficiency here on Gojo because, you know, we had to take like 2 turns to, of course, be able to kind of break him. Then here, we're going to use our skill 1 on Nobara and start building up our skill 1. Excuse me, the nails. Alright, so the boss isn't going to be able to move, and he's also going to be debuffed, and, you know, he's going to lose his ult and everything. Here we're going to skill 2, skill 3, skill 1 with Gojo, because obviously we can't do anything else. And then we will do skill 1 again with Nobara. This is going to be able to put 6 stacks of nails on the boss. And here we're going to skill 2. We can skill 3 with it. Oh, we can't even skill 3 with Gaku Ganji. I think, dang, we're 4 energy off. I mean, we'll just use skill 1. We literally don't have any other choice. And then we'll skill 1 with Gojo as well. And then we'll use Pride. And then we'll use her skill 3 here. And then obviously that's going to be big damage for her because obviously she's fucking insane, bro. The damage output that she outputs is insanity. All right, let's see it. So 6.5 million. 6.5 million. Unfucking believable. 6.5 million. Obviously, that's with all the debuffs and the buffs active and everything. So on average, you're hitting like roughly 3 to 4 million every time you rotate between your 3 turns. It's insane, right? Obviously, granted, you're using a buffer and a debuffer, and then, you know, like, let's say a character like Yuki to consistently keep doing it over and over. It's absurd. I really don't understand. It's how absurd it is. So here we're just gonna ult. How long does this last for? 2 turns? I think we'll wait. Do we wait or... Yeah, I think we have to wait. Because we'll skill 1, skill 1. So we'll skill 1 on turn 14, skill 1 on turn 15, and then skill 3 on turn 16 with Nobara. And then from there, that's basically going to be the end, right? Obviously, that's going to be the end. So here we can use skill 3 on Gaku Ganji, and then we can obviously use ult afterwards. We will debuff the enemy because we don't want I mean, we could do damage with skill 3, but I don't think we're going to have enough to actually break the enemy in time. So I think skill 2 is probably the best bet here to get that debuff, so that way we have that, you know, damage down, like, you know what I mean. Basically the debuff, so they do less damage for 2 turns, since Gojo's about to leave this turn anyways. Then we will do skill 1 here. And then that's going to put the... Let's see how many... Okay, so he has no nails active, right? This is going to put the first set of nails active. And then we just hope that he doesn't kill Gaku Ganji, so that way we can get his ult off. Okay, he didn't even attack. That's fine. That's completely fine. So here we can just ult the enemy. We can ult him with skill, with the ultimate as well. Just in case Gaku Ganji dies, we'll use the memory, so that way we actually get something for our team. And then here we will use our skill 1 for the second set of nails. Okay, not bad. Okay, so how much is that damage reduction that he has? Only 10%? Yeah, we don't care. Anyways, we'll buff again with Yaga. We'll use skill 3 and debuff the enemy. And then we'll use skill 3 on our Nobara here. Right? Because we already have 6 stacks of nails. Obviously, we can push for a little bit more. Let me see. If I push it for a little bit more, how... I think we'll still have the debuffs active for a little bit longer. How long until the debuffs are out? It's 2 turns. We have 1 that's going away in 1 turn. I think the best thing to do here is just use skill 3 and then use our ultimate the next following turn. Obviously, you probably maybe with skill 1 here and then ult would have probably been better, but I think skill 3 obviously is just insane. So we're going to use skill 3 here, try to put out as much damage just in case the boss just happens to kill one of our characters. Debuff him. 2 point something mil. Obviously, we did lose a portion of our characters and everything. Try to get that ultimate off too, and hopefully the... Honestly, I don't even think we're gonna make it to 9. The biggest problem in the entire run was mainly in the beginning, where I think in the beginning I was missing a little bit of damage to actually move on to the next phase, so I end up losing like a couple of turns, right? Realistically, if I didn't miss that, I think I probably could have killed the boss. I probably would have did all 10 easily. But because I didn't manage to kill the boss on the second phase, I believe it was, where he lived with a little bit of HP, like 500k or 600k, and that kind of cost me a couple turns and kind of ruined my rotations a little bit. Because if not, I would have been able to use Gojo ult sooner, which means I would have probably had another rotation of Gojo ult again, so that way I could have ulted him at the end here, so that way I would have been able to kill him. But I mean, regardless, 8 is still pretty good, considering we're using an extremely old character. Like, this character is very, very old on the JP end. And with her SP buff, she's basically being able to do the hardest content in the game, just like all the other characters, the newer characters. So I think they did a really good job in actually buffing this character and making the character a lot stronger. So we're just going to check the stats here real quick so you can kind of see. So she did roughly about 25 million damage. And then obviously her highest damage in a single attack was 6.5 mil. I'd say that's pretty good overall. Like, you can't even really complain about that. 6.5 mil in a skill 3 is really high. Like, that's really high. And remember, keep in mind, this is a skill 3 that's going to be cycling between 2 other turns. So you're going to have skill 1 on 2 turns, and then skill 3 on another turn, and you can use Pride. And then remember, you're going to use your skill 1s again, and then cycle against your skill 3, and then boom, hit them hard. Then you can do it again, hit them hard. You're just going to keep doing it and cycling with this Pride and shit. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to do a lot of damage. So 25 mil, I'd say that's really good for a extremely old character, tackling one of the hardest contents in the game, and she does it phenomenally. Anyways, enough yapping. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.